2023 was another big year for Star Wars fans. Despite no theatrically released films, fans were treated to The Bad Batch Season 2, The Mandalorian Season 3, Ahsoka, Jedi Survivor, Young Jedi Adventures, Star Wars Visions Volume 2, Star Wars Celebration Europe, and more. And while there's still a lot of unknowns for the coming year, there are still plenty of stories for fans to look forward to in 2024. Starting with Disney+, there's been a lot of uncertainty regarding upcoming series. As fans are used to now, Lucasfilm doesn't like to market any of its projects until a month or two before the premiere, so as a result, we have no confirmed release dates, or even any teasers, for upcoming series that could potentially premiere in 2024. Because they were both supposed to originally premiere in 2023, before a few minor delays, it seems almost certain that Skeleton Crew and The Acolyte will arrive on Disney Plus within the next year. Exclusive footage of both series was shown to fans in attendance at Star Wars Celebration last April, but for the general public, the only official information we have for the series are the descriptions and any publicly announced casting news. Skeleton Crew will tell the story of 4 kids who find themselves lost in the vastness of the galaxy, trying to find their way home. And The Acolyte will be a mystery thriller that takes viewers into a galaxy of shadowy secrets and emerging dark side powers in the final days of the High Republic era. A former Padawan reunites with her Jedi Master to investigate a series of crimes, but the forces they confront are more sinister than they ever anticipated. Andor Season 2 is also currently set to premiere in 2024. Although it was initially reported to have a near August release date, we don't know as of yet how much, if at all, the summer strikes set production back. With Lucasfilm keeping their lips sealed on nearly everything, we're still unaware what progress looks like for any of these shows and whether we should expect them within the next year. In terms of animated shows, The Bad Batch Season 3, the show's final season, as well as Tales of the Jedi Season 2, are also expected to premiere in 2024. Because animation was able to continue during the strikes, beyond the voice actors recording lines for their characters, it wouldn't seem like these projects were delayed as much. The Bad Batch had about a year and a half between its first 2 seasons, so if it took roughly the same time to work on Season 3, then I would put my money on a premiere somewhere around May the 4th again, which was when the series first premiered. Although Tales of the Jedi came out ahead of The Bad Batch Season 2, that is the one series that I wouldn't be all that surprised if it got pushed back until the start of 2025. Everything else has been talked about a lot more, and should be further along in the development process. And even though Tales of the Jedi is typically shorter than your average series, with the first season only having 6 episodes, airing 5 different Star Wars shows in 1 year does feel like a lot. Especially considering the fact that we probably won't get anything until at least February, since there's been no marketing done yet for any of them. We know Andor Season 2 will be made up of 12 episodes like the first season, and assuming The Bad Batch sticks with 16 for its 3rd season, and Skeleton Crew and The Acolyte both have the typical 8-episode length, that's already 44 episodes. The only releases that could possibly overlap are The Bad Batch and something else, since they were willing to do that with The Bad Batch and The Mandalorian. But without that, that would only leave 8 weeks without a new Star Wars episode. While I would love to see Tales of the Jedi sooner rather than later, Star Wars fatigue is something to be considered here. Moving on though, one of my more anticipated projects set to release in 2024 is Star Wars Outlaws, the upcoming open-world game developed by Massive Entertainment and Ubisoft. Set between The Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi, the game follows scoundrel Kay Vess as she navigates the criminal underbelly of the galaxy, seeking freedom and the means to start a new life. Not much has been said about the game since it was first announced earlier last year, but in comparison to some of the other upcoming Star Wars games, that's good news. Nothing has been said of complications behind the scenes, or any delays, so as of now it looks like fans will be getting a new game in the coming year. Moving on to the publishing, there are countless books and comics already scheduled to release in 2024. All of the comic series that have been running since 2020, so the Star Wars run, Darth Vader, Dr. Aphra, and Bounty Hunters, are all set to wrap up by the spring. Those comics have been following a whole host of characters between The Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi, with Crimson Dawn and Carbonated Han Solo having large roles as well. Although I don't think anything has been announced yet, it wouldn't be surprising if a new line of comics starts up again by the fall. They've already fleshed out the 2 gaps between the original trilogy movies, so it would be interesting to see where they go next. We may finally start to get more of the time period after Return of the Jedi. Thrawn Alliances will get its own comic miniseries adapting the novel, and comic adaptations for the Obi-Wan Kenobi series and The Mandalorian will continue as well. A new Mace Windu miniseries will be released starting in February, following the Jedi Master in the time before the Clone Wars. Jango Fett will also get his own miniseries starting in March. the High Republic stays strong in 2024, with the main High Republic comic, High Republic Adventures, and Shadows of Starlight all continuing into the new year. The third phase of the publishing initiative will also continue with full force, with multiple novels currently set to release, including the middle grade novel, Escape from Valo, the young adult novel, Defy the Storm, the adult novel, Temptation of the Force, the middle grade novel, Beware the Nameless, and the young adult novel, Tears of the Nameless. The third volume of the High Republic manga series, Edge of Balance, as well as the High Republic The Lightsaber Collection, will also be released soon. Even though I've fallen out a bit with the High Republic, with it just feeling like a lot to keep up with, and the second phase not hitting me as well, I really do want to get caught up by the time the new novels release, because it is a very in-depth and well-told story for the brand new era, and it's going to be important down the line. A few other books that are set to release in 2024 include the new Mace Windu novel set after The Phantom Menace titled The Glass Abyss, the pre-Phantom Menace story titled The Living Force, and The Art of Jedi Survivor. And one final note, Star Wars Rebels will celebrate its 10th anniversary in October, so there will likely be some announcements or releases in line to celebrate that event. It's also important to note that these releases are heavily set within the first half of 2024, so there are bound to be more stories, especially books and comics, that release later in the year. But as of now, this is everything that we know of until Lucasfilm reveals any new release dates. What are you most looking forward to this year? Let me know in the comments below. Remember to like the video, and subscribe for more Star Wars videos every week. And remember to follow me on Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok. Thank you all for watching, and remember, the Force will be with you. Always.